You and Maddie are your boys are in the same league. You got any Matt Every stories?
No. I've been tame around Josh.
Yeah, nothing on the baseball side, but flag football.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget.
Were you there for this? Or
I was not there.
It?
I was there for playing against that guy, but not for the blow up. But his kids was on the team of this coach who was a nightmare. Like he would talk shit to the players on the other team. I mean, we're talking about 10-year-old kids
telling a 10-year-old kid to suck on it while he's down on the ground.
Like just flag football.
We've talked about that guy before.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, he'd been in trouble with the league before apparently, and fortunately got kicked out after your incident with him. And I mean, this guy, the kids would come back to the sideline and be like, "That coach just yelled something at me."
Welcome back to another episode of Straight Down the Middle-ish. We are joined by a local legend here in the Jacksonville area. Number 10 in the playbook, number 1 in your hearts. Mr. Josh Scobee, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Which it had taken less time to get me on, so my apologies.
We're excited to have you here.
It is one of those moments. I'll say, where were you? I know where I was when you kicked that. That was at the time the longest in Jag history.
Oh, the 59-yarder. Yep.
I was at
Where were you?
Sneakers in Jack's. Probably like one of the very few times I've been there. I was at Sneakers out on the porch, and obviously it was a fucking big kick.
Set the table for us there, Scobes. That is one of the biggest highlights in Jag's history.
Yeah, it was one of those moments, like, you know, as a kicker, you dream of getting like a last-second long field goal to either win the game or
the walk-off.
Yeah, like a walk-off kick, game-winning, anything. That's what you dream about as an athlete, and it just set up perfectly with 1 second left, tie ball game, and a long field goal. And I happened to drill it. And you really can't ever predict when that's going to happen because you just never know, but that was a fun time.
What's the feeling through your body when that happens?
It's literally, I mean, I can...
Out of body?
Yeah, it's out of body afterwards. And I could always remember, whenever I made a good kick, I could remember everything I felt like pre-kick, during the kick, post-kick. And that one, I don't remember anything after the kick.
Yeah.
I just remember like getting back to the locker room, and I mean... It was like I blacked out for 5 minutes. It was awesome.
I missed your celebrations. You had some pretty sick soccer style celebrations.
That one was
awesome.
One was planned. I knew. I'm like, all right, this is what. I'm
so you
do.
playing this through your head while walking on the sidelines?
Hopefully,
if I make this son of a gun.
Hopefully, a few weeks before, like when this situation comes up. Hopefully, it wasn't like, hey, I'm walking out. If I kick this, I'm going to do that. Hopefully, it was
before. Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get away from everyone. So I just basically made a victory lap and took off my helmet and ran around the field. And I did something, and I've talked about this before, and I did something that I had no clue that I had done when I ran around the field, because Peyton Manning was running off their sideline. He has to run across the field to go back to their visiting locker room. And I had no clue I did it until I ran into Peyton on a golf trip, and he told me about it.
Wow.
So I ran past him, and can we cuss on here?
Oh, yeah.
I go,
hell yeah.
I ran past him, and I saw him, and I go, woo, motherfucker, and ran off. And I had no clue that I did it.
He keeps receipts for sure.
Yeah.
Out of body.
So we were at Augusta on a golf trip, and he invites us up to the butler cabin for drinks after dinner. Yeah. And he's like, hey, you remember that kick? I'm like, yeah, I remember that kick. He's like, you remember what you yelled at me? I'm like, nope. Apparently I yelled at it.
That's fun.
Wow. So,
new member at Augusta National.
But he's been there quite a few years now.
Yeah.
First time I went to Augusta, I ran into Peyton and Eli there. They were having breakfast right next to Jonas and I.
Apparently he's been going there too often. They have to tell him,
really?
Hey, that's like 3 trips this month, Peyton.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, if you don't have a green jacket, you're
we'll get on to some
you're on a pitch count.
We'll get on to some other things, but you talk about you'll never forget where you were. I'll never forget where I was. Gumby's Pizza in Gainesville had the Jags plus 13.5 at Indy. We score with like it's a minute or less to go, no timeouts. obviously 2-minute warning's gone, to go down 7. We got an onside kick it, and you're lining up to onside kick it,
God, I
and
remember
they
this one.
fucking return it for a touchdown.
I remember.
So jacked.
I will never forget that.
I think we were 8-5 going into that game, maybe.
It was
and
yeah.
we just had to win one game to make the playoffs, and we lost the last 3 games. And yeah, I remember that onside kick.
You never see a one get return for. Is that the only one in your career?
Only one.
Really?
I mishit it. I'd hit it too soft, and it just goes hop, hop to this guy, and he goes, and I'm, see you later.
It looks so easy. It makes you wonder why they don't do it more often.
Oh, I got some shit for that from teammates, coaches. Like, why did you kick it that soft? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the Jags made up for it this past weekend with that Houston performance on special teams.
Wow.
How do you let
all 3 phases
260-pound fullback
was he
go
260?
80? Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He's massive. He's an up man.
He had no clue he was going to get the ball.
Right.
And then he gets the ball, and all of a sudden he's running 4-3 and breaking tackles. And
Not only did he get he didn't get the ball. He fumbled it. It was it was like, oh God, what do I do? And then I'm just gonna pick it up and run. Next thing you know, he's walking into the end zone.
now that was embarrassing.
I'm optimistic that if there's a reset button for the Jags, it's going to be London. They
Really?
seem to play well there.
Why do you think the Jags play well in London?
You kind of get away from here, get away from the noise for a little while, and you kind of just reset, and you get to eat some crappy food, and
fish and chips.
Yeah.
Are you making that trip? Have you done that trip before?
I've done that trip a couple times after I retired, and it's a lot of fun as a non-player. Go there and see the city. There's a lot of things to do, but as a player, it's a business trip, and you get a little bit of downtime every now and again. But for the most part, you're there to play football.
A lot of people go over that.
Yeah, a lot of people from Jacksonville go.
Ted Baker was going up there. He flew up with us.
I know a bunch to go.
A couple of people from Point of Adrian are going over.
Yeah, you can buy your way there, and you could actually ride on the team plane if you wanted, but it's pretty expensive.
Well, going for back-to-back games, if you were planning and you had enough time, that's a great trip. You get to see the sights for a week, catch 2 ball games, and head on back.
It's actually not a bad idea. I'd like to do it again. I went 3 or 4 years ago, and the NFL actually paid me to go. I'm like, invite me to do that again, please. Pay me to go. And all I had to do was go to parties and sign autographs and stuff. And
I'll even do it cheaper next year.
Yeah, seriously. Give me $100 and I'll go.
The NRL, the rugby in Australia, they're doing that now. They're coming to Vegas this year, March, the first Saturday or weekend in March. There's 2 games that these four Australian teams, 2 games, are coming over and doing the similar thing, but in Vegas.
Speaking of rugby, they got to outlaw that sneak play going on in the NFL
the push,
right now.
Push.
It looks.
I thought that was illegal.
I thought it was too. Growing up, I always thought you couldn't have the running back push you from behind.
The Reggie Bush push back in the day.
Reggie Bush just got fucked so many ways. I mean,
so many.
He did.
I got a good Reggie Bush story, actually.
You got a good Reggie Bush story?
Golf story, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's really good at golf.
Yeah. He's gotten really good. He used to be terrible. But we used to do this tournament, NFL versus NBA current and former players. Aaron Rodgers was the NFL host, and Chris Paul was the NBA host. And the first year we did it was in Connecticut, where the Mohegan Sun is there. And we were playing a 4-ball, so best ball by...
How many guys?
I think there were 12 on each team. So I was like the A player, so they put me with Reggie Bush. And he was flying in on a helicopter from New York City, and he was late. And they'd tell me, hey, he's not going to make it to like the 4th or 5th hole. And I was playing against Ray Allen and not Michael Jordan, but someone
game for Ray Allen.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And
Driscoll used to play with him a bit.
They put us off last, and Reggie doesn't show up till like the 5th hole. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to beat these guys outright. We end up winning. And when he showed up on the 5th hole, he starts like practicing chipping balls on the green. And Ray Allen comes to me. He's like, you better tell this dude to stop hitting balls. He's like, I'm going to disqualify you. I'm like, all right, I'll tell him. So he stops, and we didn't take a single shot of his. We took my ball the entire way, and we ended up beating him.
Oh, that's great.
But Reggie's
Ray Allen's
nice
pretty
guy.
good.
He's really good.
He's notorious for like wolf, like goes lone wolf before a tee's in the ground every fifth. If there's a fivesome,
Yeah,
always goes lone wolf.
I do too. If it lines up right. If I'm not just giving up strokes on a par 3, I'll do it.
So how did you get into golf? Did you play growing up, or when you got to the league?
I wish. If I could have afforded it growing up, I probably would have played golf. But my wife's dad played in college, and when we met, he bought me lessons for Christmas one year, and that's when I started. So basically,
how old?
I was 22 when
wow.
I got going.
Where'd he play at?
University of Louisiana Monroe, so ULM. Back then it was NLU, but I think he played a couple years. But he was obsessed with it, and he got me hooked. And
You've been obsessed for a long time, right?
long time.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of coming to Jacksonville, where I could have gone somewhere else, but I luckily got drafted here because there's a charity event every Monday in the spring. So we got invited to go to every event. I went to all of them and just got hooked and started taking lessons and then got into tournament golf. And then that was a whole new ordeal. And I'm like, I can't really do well. It's a 7 or 8 handicap in tournament golf.
I mean, I can't think of a better sport, though, for a kicker to find and transition into. I mean, compare the level of focus that goes into prepping for a kick versus golf.
You in your 20s was like us in our teens. Just the bug, the obsession. But it is. It's like you need that to get better. You're not going to get better if you don't have the bug.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to get better.
Yeah.
But the correlation between kicking and golf, it's so
everything.
Similar. It's
pitches,
everything.
Archery, shooting. There's only a few.
Yeah. I mean, you're very
non-reactionary.
You're very intense when on the golf course, and I just can't imagine what that was like on the football field, because you have the threat of getting ripped or.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up playing.
That's the athletic thing, I think. So, but
what's the hardest? I want to know something real quick. I'll forget it.
I know
what's
someone who's more intense than him in
What's
golf.
the hardest you ever got hit on the football field?
Hardest ever got hit.
Like block kick, you're scrambling, trying to tackle a guy, you get blindside blocked. That ever happen? Anything?
That fortunately never happened. The hardest I got hit was by
saving a kickoff return for a touchdown.
That I met a guy on the sideline. I think he's going to run out of bounds. I'm the last person there. And he just turns it upfield as soon as we get to the sideline.
It's like
lowers his
check.
shoulder and hits me right in the ribs, and I go flying. And I don't think I took a breath for a couple minutes.
All right, what were we talking about?
So you said Scobee is intense. It was the athletic thing. I have played with an NFL. I haven't played with too many NFL players, but I've played with one that was more intense.
Who's that?
Robbie Gould.
He's more intense than me?
He's intense.
He just got intense thinking about it.
We played at Pablo, and he was, I guess he just wanted to shoot a score. He was playing well, but it's not. I played a little bit with Wakefield. All intense. It's just, I think it's the athletic thing. It's got nothing to do with the golf thing. It's just the personality of, it's you have yourself to blame. It's all on you. So you can sort of. With a team sport, you can do everything right and lose, and it's like, oh well, I did what I could do.
Well, I think with
but
golf,
the buck stops with you, so you can be even more competitive.
You can also play really well when you're laid back, and if you try and force intensity into the game,
Josh, see, you could be even better.
Don't listen to that crap, Josh. Listen,
I've tried all.
The hardest thing in the world is to try less when you care.
Yeah,
right? It's impossible.
Yeah, I've tried to play rounds where I'm fully focused on every single shot, and it just becomes too much where you're exhausted and mentally exhausted. And obviously, you've done that too. I'm sure.
That way when it was,
it helps
when it was cold and windy. I always felt like I was more, and I know maybe the weather has something to do with it, but when I got done, I felt mentally more exhausted than anything.
Yeah,
when
you're not the only one
throwing stuff in, and like
I guess more elements. 25-mile-an-hour wind.
You have to pay attention to all the time.
Your heart's more in your mouth when the shot's in the air, because there's more shit can go wrong, I guess. But there's stuff that helps that. Maybe a little Casamigos or something.
Yeah, there's a lot that helps that.
Those are allowed. That's allowed in the tournaments you play in, right?
Yeah.
The celebrity events.
It's almost encouraged.
Really?
It's allowed in mid-am golf. I think you can play the US mid-am.
Is it really?
And you can be just having...
No way.
No way.
Nobody's policing it, is what he's saying.
If it's only the mid-am that's not. All those other ones, they play the Crump Cup, which was at Pine Valley, all of it, of course. They say it's like...
Crump Cup you can drink in?
Drinks at the turn.
They say like the key to mid-am golf is green speeds and buzz management.
I don't know about that.
Well, I played a
I do.
celebrity event back in July, and speaking of like temper, like 'cause I've really tried to like bring my temper down and not get so mad about golf.
Think you could beat Stuart Hagestad?
Probably not. He's
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 a
won
cut
the
above
Mid-Am
that. Yeah.
quite a
Turn
few
pro.
times.
Turn pro, Stuart.
You should
Yeah.
start playing those though.
Well, I don't
Sissy.
have amateur status because I play in these celebrity
Ah,
events
'cause
and
you
take
get
money
money.
from them.
Oh.
But I played in this one in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where that
Right.
famous like par 3
Yeah.
island green that they have there.
It moves,
Very.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
move it to whatever yardage they want. But I got some new perspective there because the first round I played, I mean, I had the full blown shanks. I mean,
With
Wow.
the, like irons?
it was short irons
Oh.
because it was a short course. I mean, the year before I finished second, I should have won. This time I'm like, I'm winning. I'm winning. So I pipe a drive on the second hole. Boom, 9 iron, gone. And I'm like, oh,
The
crap.
German
Do
tanks.
you do that a lot?
No.
Really?
So I had 5 in that round
Oh.
and 5 3-putts. And I shot 78. So I was playing good other than those. But I played, it was like a pro-am, but my round counted. And I played with this guy who was in a motorized wheelchair, who was paralyzed from the waist down. And he was their club champion there. And
Fuck.
he beat me that day. We're playing the same tees. And he beat me.
That's
and
amazing.
afterwards, I'm like, all right, there's no more complaining because that guy just beat me.
Right. We were just up in Atlanta for the Kyle Pease Foundation. It's a charity that supports disabled athletes and gives them access into really a lot of like races, like the River Run or an Ironman. But I got to play with the guy, Alex Forey. He's a one-handed golfer. He's born without a right arm. Just plays with his left arm, tees it up about 4 inches high, and he was out driving everybody. It was the most amazing thing to see. And talk about perspective. I mean, I was getting off to a little bit of a slow start, and like, man, I'm on the struggle bus. But looking over here, this guy's just cutting jokes, making fun of himself. It was pretty special, and it's nice to get humbled every
Yep,
now and then.
it
like
is.
that.
It helped me.
Sounds
So-
like you need to get in the gym, too. Fuck.
Dude, he hit the
Sounds like
3
an
bills.
excuse.
No, I'm exaggerating. I was pumping it by him. So you playing in another charity or a celebrity event? What was the Barstool event that you just played in?
Yeah, we were in Charlotte. So they do these year-round qualifiers for the end of the year Barstool Championship that they do at Greyhawk in Scottsdale. They've done it at Pinehurst for a couple years, and now it's at Greyhawk.
That's a bad shift.
Terrible shift.
Keep it at Pinehurst.
Yeah, Pinehurst is so good. But Pinehurst, when you're there, they don't care. They have so many people playing there that
Right.
they're not worried about a tournament or that many people being there for that tournament. But anyway, so my partner and I, Brian Walters, who was a wide receiver in the league for 6 or 7 years, we went up and played in it and qualified. I think we finished tied for first, but
Is this celebrity, non-celebrity? Just
this is just
So,
whoever. Yeah,
how many teams do they take in those qualifiers?
4 out of, I think there's 60
So
teams.
you're going to Greyhawk.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
Look out.
we
Look
qualified
out.
last
What's
year.
your handicap in that?
Like a
Zero?
plus one.
Is
So
it-
you're giving up a shot on a hole.
Or is it no handicaps?
So they zero it out. So the lowest handicap in the field, I'll probably be getting a shot or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll be playing against some other.
There's some guys there that
Six.
show up that are +3, +4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they go to zero and everyone
see it.
adds on.
Yeah. So that
right.
helps me, giving me a shot on. I mean, because it never happens other than these type of tournaments. So.
Is everyone like a single digit or a couple like?
Oh no, there's
15 handicappers.
yeah,
And stuff?
and in those tournaments, especially the Barstool one, the
That's
better
fine.
handicaps are
Do
at
you get
the top
money
at
for
the
the
end.
Barstool one?
Only if you win.
What is
I
it?
think it's 10 grand.
What's the most you've won in a celebrity event?
I think 40.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a win
Damn.
That was like 3rd place or something.
at
yeah.
the Accenture one?
Tahoe.
Tahoe. I can't remember what I got for that. I finished 3rd in that. The one in
Who was beating you when you were playing in that?
Mark Mulder and
Wagner?
Jack Wagner.
No.
No, he's too old.
Malden, they play like there's a couture, right? Like they're playing
Not really.
all the time.
No, they just get invited to all of these. I don't get invited to all the ones they
Politics.
get invited to.
Politics.
Don't even get me started on that. But it's like Marty Fish, who's a former tennis player.
Yeah,
he's really good, and Mark Mulder. But if I played, actually, we had a final round together, the three of us in San Diego, like 5 years ago, and I waxed them.
Really?
Yeah. But they're both really, really good players.
You had a look there at Tahoe one year. I remember that.
Yeah, I had the course record.
Nervous? Were you nervous?
Not really.
No.
Right, UV Steph Curry. Good match.
Oh, I'd crush him. He's
Yeah.
really good, but he's clutch. He's clutch.
He's clutch. He plays good in those pro events, which is a hard thing to translate, which is...
But he's really good. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
if we played 10 times, I'd beat him 9 times.
All right.
You
Throwing it down.
You wanted to say 10 there. So
I hope
bad.
he hears
I'd beat him 10 times.
Yeah, you would.
He did hold his own when the not
He's-
pressure, but the when he played those with web.com or something.
We just had
Corn Ferry.
Sam Ryder in here, and he played with him that event at the Corn Ferry. He said he beat Sam.
I heard that story.
Sam
Did
said
he
he beat
really?
him the first day.
Wow.
And Sam had just won 2 weeks earlier.
He's good.
Yeah.
I'll give him
You
that.
talk about that feeling earlier about going through your body when you make kicks, how you kind of numb till you aren't.
Till the adrenaline wears off.
Right, but you can't like reproduce that other than doing what you did.
Mhm.
Sam talked about it too, where when he made that hole-in-one in Phoenix, how his lower lip wouldn't stop shaking, like he couldn't. He
Couldn't
was like,
make it stop.
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean,
That's primal.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
But it's got to be similar to you. I guess you have a helmet on, so people can't see. But
Oh, there were plenty of times when I would get out there and, you start your walk off. So you go 3 steps back, and multiple times where I'd start my walk off and I couldn't feel my lower body,
Really?
like completely numb.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is going on? So then take my stance and I'm getting ready. I'm like, am I going to be able to swing? And it's just adrenaline.
without
pumping.
getting too technical, how
You've had to
do
have
you,
felt that
do you
yourself.
Do you know like right away if you've missed it or not, like right off the foot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, unless it's really windy and you're, playing it off the wind. But for the most part, the strike, just like golf. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as you've made contact, you have that feeling of, it was a little off.
It's similar to golf too in the distance as well. I remember being, when I first started dialing in on the NFL, like whatever age that was, 50 yards was a freaking bomb, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like 52 was a bomb.
Mhm.
Now it feels like every guy in the league's got 58 in the bag.
Yep.
It's insane.
Justin Tucker
pretty
kicks a
much.
62-yarder like every other week.
Yeah, and you're like, I guess he made another
Right,
one.
ho hum oh.
Even the
But
college
that's
kids. The
comparing
Missouri guy the
people
other
to-
So why do you think that
Justin
is?
Tucker's-
Just training or what?
It's just the evolution of it. I mean,
getting
the
better, younger.
kids are getting bigger, stronger, better training.
Same
They're,
with golf.
they're figuring out how to get the ball broken in to where it'll go farther.
Yeah.
That's huge, because whenever I first got in the league, they'd give us a brand new ball and we'd barely break it in, and then it's in the game.
Did you have a kicking coach throughout, or did you kind of do your own stuff?
I did, starting in my 7th year.
Wow. So
And he was in Scottsdale.
you're pretty raw for.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, I was raw my entire career,
Yeah.
because I didn't start kicking till my senior year of high school.
Wow.
So I just got into it late, and most guys kind of get into it late
I
because
think there's something to that, not just in kicking, but you can handle the climb like mentally.
Well, I played
mature
every
enough
other
to do
sport but football. So, but most guys get into it late because you don't really develop the leg strength you need until later in life.
Well, that guy
Because-
kicking for the Cowboys now. Is that right? He never play. He played
He
some
might
other
have been a
sport.
backup for a week and got in or something.
Yeah,
I know you're talking
that
about.
happens a lot. That's a normal thing.
Lawrence Tynes didn't start till later. He
Yep.
was in Scotland. His dad was over there, and he played
That's true.
soccer. Yeah.
Janikowski, same thing. 1 year of high
Volusia
school.
County,
Oh,
Volusia
wow.
County,
Yeah.
Janikowski.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's just, that's
Cover
just a
your
normal
drink when you
thing.
go to the bathroom.
when did the NFL become like a dream or a picture in your mind?
Probably my junior year. My sophomore year, I was All-American. I was good, but I didn't know if I had a chance or not. I was playing at Louisiana Tech, small school.
Right.
So you don't really know. But my junior year, I started, getting letters from
they'll
agents.
find you.
And, and we played at Kansas State, and we got drummed. I mean, like 54-10 or some big score. So I didn't have very many kicks, but I had 2 kickoffs where we had celebration penalties. So I had to kick them off from the 20, and I kicked them like through the end zone. And the crowd was like cheering for me. And their coach came up to me after the game and was like, I can't wait to watch you kick on Sundays. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I got a chance.
Was that Bill
That's
Snyder?
pretty sick.
Yeah. So when I retired from the NFL, I got in touch with him to thank him. I'm like, you were the first guy to like
No way.
tell me.
That's
Put,
pretty cool.
put the bug in your ear that, hey,
Yes.
this
He's
is.
saying
I would
well,
imagine
attainable.
that it's the same for pretty much every position at the level that you at, like a law tech, where you might know, but do you know if you're good enough? I mean, we're not playing in the SEC here. You know, it's like a sick receiver. I guess you have the combine now where you can go, but kickers, geez, man, that's like
Kickers, I mean, like you said, you can be found. Like they'll find you.
yeah.
It's different
Isn't it
for
a
other
short
positions.
lifespan too. I mean, if you get you see a guy like who are the 2 brothers that came out of Florida State with it started with an A, their last name.
Oh,
Aguayo?
Aguayo,
Yes.
yeah. Roberto.
Remember, they both were like world beaters, and then you get your look. This guy got right off the rip, gets the yips, and you never hear from
He
him
was
again.
drafted
He had
in the
the
third
yips in
round.
college, but
But that's
he
why
just didn't develop them until the NFL.
But that's why kicking, pitching, archery, shooting, golf, they're like in a group that's completely different. Like tennis, football, everything's reactionary.
Yeah,
You got that space between your kickers have got more than golf. Like they might not even have anything on the line until the last minute of the game. They haven't even kicked the field, maybe PATs.
Yeah.
But
It's happened, yeah.
it's so much shit goes through your brain.
I could
It's,
imagine.
uh,
I mean, you got
yeah.
these big old friggin' warriors going at it all game, and it's coming down to Whitey over
Especially,
here.
especially if one of them breaks the line. Like
And
it
then
breaks
when
the
you
line.
miss,
Oh.
then you hear it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that happened to me the last game of my career in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
I mean, I miss a potential game-winning field goal, and these guys hate me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Snoop Dogg.
They hated you already.
They already hated me,
Yeah.
but they hated me
Fucking
even
Snoop
more.
Dogg got on Twitter,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, that ain't cool.
Did he?
Oh,
he-
yeah, he set them all alight up there.
I
swear.
forget. You get in some trouble on Twitter, don't you?
I
Didn't you
do.
say something about Tiger?
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, you did.
That was a joke.
totally
It's
forgot
a joke.
That's why the written word is dangerous, because the written word can be perceived differently
Yeah.
from how you intended.
It sure
Yes.
is.
I know.
So you kicked forever in Jacksonville. I guess we couldn't afford you anymore, and you wound up in Pittsburgh, probably the hardest stadium to kick in
Yeah.
the league.
One of them.
That's a tough deal, especially at the end of the career. Do you start to feel like you're losing your leg, your distance?
Oh, heck yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I retired, because when I was there, I was injured. I had like a pulled quad, so I wasn't kicking to my full potential.
Yeah.
And then when every time I tried to rehab it and come back, it just got worse. And
That's,
so I just felt it was time to be done.
Like we had played golf with Adam Podlesh, and he went to Chicago. You went to Pittsburgh and Chicago. Like get two bigger, different. There's
Exactly.
indoor, but outdoor stadiums. You got the Jags. And
I
you
always
got-
say if you're a quarterback or a kicker and you get drafted to Chicago, good luck, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst place ever to be
It's
one
so-
of those.
it's
Soldier
tough.
Field in December.
That's why I have a lot of respect for Robbie Gould for
Yeah.
kicking most of his career in Chicago
Yeah.
and having a crazy good field goal percentage.
And then
You
to
got, like-
San Francisco. Is he still kicking this year?
Now I think he's retired.
Oh, because he was kicking great last year. I don't think he missed at home last year or something. He was still crushing stats.
What was worse last week? McManus's missed the blocked field goal and the wide
He can't
right,
help
or the attempt to tackle the fullback. That was pathetic, dude.
I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about him because
Where's
I
Darren
just hung
Bennett?
out with him a couple weeks
Hey,
ago.
I want to hang out with him too,
He
but
looks like a legend. He looks
that
like a
was
legend.
not a good look.
But that, I mean, I was like, is he really that slow?
Shocked me.
It was like, I mean, he's a
looked
he's
rigged.
a very nonchalant person, just
Yeah.
real relaxed.
How old is he?
Well, he was in Denver for
probably-
years. So.
31-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he looked very slow. But
The
I
wide right
was on the
no good.
field.
I didn't like the wide right.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to talk about. I was on the field in pregame, and I watched his entire warm-up, and he missed half of them wide
Oh,
right.
Shit.
So, and then he went to
What
practice.
does that mean normally?
Just you're like,
Something's out of sync?
it's kind of like club face open at impact. It's like a block, basically. So
Yeah,
you're,
I understand it's a
Yeah.
block, but like, what is not happening?
your
What's happening for you to
shoulders
miss it
or
right?
hips are typically not closed yet, so they're too open, and you're just blocking it.
Underneath,
It's an alignment thing.
underneath
Really.
the plane line.
Yeah, that it could happen that way too. If you cut underneath the ball too much, it can go right. But I'd noticed it in pregame, and I'm like,
Yeah.
The whole team was off. Like, it was just
I don't. They
weird.
must
It
have
was like
given
a
them
spell
some,
or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bad day for everyone.
I thought the same thing. It was like they gave
See, I
them all the bad Kool-Aid.
I disagree. I think the NFL comes down every week. It comes down to about 4 or 5 plays, and that fucking touchdown.
Oh,
Calvin,
yeah.
we 3 and they got the ball first, 3 and out, just like it's supposed to happen. We get the ball, drive down the field, 2nd and 10 on their 30 or whatever, and Trevor just puts a
Perfect.
beautiful pass right here, and he drops it, dude. That changed the whole game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
momentum and energy.
Changed the whole game.
The whole
We're up
team
7-0, and they just went 3 and out, and we get the ball. Not that matters then, but like it just inserts like what we're here to do.
Yeah, some dominance there. And I said that to someone on Monday. I'm like, I think if he catches that ball, it's like the Texans go, oh shit,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't have a chance.
You can't have to rely on that momentum first.
It's like match
Yes.
play. You keep somebody in it. You know.
I don't know.
It does. I got a question about icing the kicker. Does that really work?
No,
No.
no, the coaches think it works, but I mean, if you're ready, then you're ready. We've been waiting this whole time anyway. We can wait a little bit longer.
That's true.
What
Never
I-
thought of that.
Yeah, like the practice one where they call a timeout right before the snap. Like, all right.
That one you should never kick the ball.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna so
How-
because the snappers try to get it off if they blow the whistle just to give the guy another kick. But
Okay.
I
like,
would
hey.
never kick it.
All right.
Did you see who
Very
was the
good.
team that came up with the blocked kick the other day? The guy came in from the
the
corner-
Pats
the,
against the Dolphins.
Patriots.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so this guy lined up like he was covering a wide receiver, but there was nobody out there. The second the holder they had it timed down to the I don't know how many looks they give or
Yeah.
whatever, but he timed it, the looks, he starts sprinting down the line of scrimmage towards the
Holder?
offense. Yes.
Yeah.
And then right when he snaps it, cuts over and blocks
I've
it.
never
dude.
seen that.
It was like a cheat code.
I
Like
got to look at that.
That's cool though.
And-
They need more of that. I love
Yeah,
it.
it was
That's
super
a
cool.
special teams coach going, all right, we're going to try this. And if it works, then other people are going to try it.
I saw other people trying it last week. They didn't get it, but it was.
You
I
got
saw
to
other
time
people
that
trying
up
it,
perfectly.
I
But
once
then,
asked a coach, maybe it was Joe DeCamillo or something, about why more of that doesn't happen. He goes, because it's risky. You pull it off, you're a legend. You don't pull it off, you're fired.
that's true. Because, I mean, if
Well,
he
look,
jumps
if it's
off
an extra point, who cares, right?
No,
I mean,
but a field goal, if it's less than 4th and 5, then
Sure.
boom, first down.
We'll say it's entertaining for the consumer. I love watching those
Oh, I'm sure
crazy
you
plays.
do. Consumer.
Oh, I am.
You're
I
not
don't
getting
know.
fired from your job.
No.
he's a consumer. He's a consumer. all right.
Heavy consumer.
I do.
Where do we get back from this week, Price? Were you at up at Congo?
Congressional, yeah, just
Oh boy.
36 holes yesterday. I'm tired today.
36.
Yeah. Did you carry your own bag?
Did you walk?
No, we had caddies. We had caddies.
Did you walk 36?
Walked, yeah.
Wow.
I ran the last 5 because we run out of time. We had to get moving. So I just, the 2 other guys we were playing with just sat in the cart and I just ran them.
Really?
Played them. Yeah, it's good. It's tough. From the very back.
Looks pretty.
Impossible.
Took
very,
out a ton
very
of trees
pretty.
that last redo.
Yeah, 4,000 or something. They
I
said.
liked it with the tree. I like courses with trees, man. This whole new thing where we're just gutting everything out.
I'm on the other side. I
Airflow.
like the panoramic view. I love it.
Yeah.
You must hate the environment.
Oh, that's
What
it.
else do you hate?
We don't have enough time.
What about any golf trips planned for the fall there, Josh?
Let's see. Just the Barstool one is in early December.
Yeah.
And then early November, go back up to the Great Green Course of
Oh.
Augusta.
Mm.
That's pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
What are you, a once a year guy there?
Yeah,
Twice a
this
year?
should be twice this year.
Oh, wow.
So
You and Peyton.
I might see him there.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering like who is going to be there. So when we get there, the member that I go with gets a sheet of the member and the guests that are there.
Yeah.
So we'll check it because he's kind of like a celebrity guy. Like he wants to know too.
Yeah.
And every time we'll see someone like, yeah, we'll get to see them.
Uh-huh.
That was like, I guess, the Grove 23. It's like, it's good to be down there when Jordan's playing, and it's sort of not that cool if he's not playing.
Every day.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Pittsburgh, not to bring back up that memory, but did you play like Oakmont, Fox Chapel? Did you get them in?
The second one, what was the one you said?
Fox Chapel.
I don't think
It's
I
like a
played
rainer.
there.
Yeah,
You play
it's cool.
Oakmont?
I was supposed to play Oakmont the day after
no.
I got cut, and I couldn't have been more happy. I was ready to be leaving that
Sure.
city, but yeah,
Like you guys still lived here when
my family stayed here, so
right.
I went up there and rented a hotel room, and
yeah. I bet it was a lonely
What an
place.
adjustment.
it was very. If I
But
could
that
go
also
back,
doesn't
I would
help.
have brought them with me.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
help like anything, especially like base pitching. Like your outside environment is very important to how you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, there's
Yeah.
one psychologist back in the street say you didn't need to have your room clean if you want to compete. You know, you can't. It's different from getting out there and
Pricey,
playing quarterback or whatever.
Not only is he a realtor, he moonlights as a sports psychologist as well.
I would actually just go with more like philosopher.
I love that.
It's not bad.
We're getting business cards.
I did complete a pretty cool contract in between 18s. We went straight from the gold. We had to go straight to the blue. And I was like, guys, I can't edit these dot loops from my phone. It just doesn't work. So I was like, give me like 5 minutes. So I went in the locker room, pulled my computer, got on the Wi-Fi, had to change like the lead-based paint agreement, just put all the initials in. Boom, sent them off. So I haven't done-
Multitasker.
I'm normally not good, but
The world
I
is
got it
your
in.
office, Pricey. Just working.
Not
from-
always.
from the locker room at Congressional, closing out deals.
Like those
Come
guys
on.
were joking yesterday. I said, I've played a lot of golf this summer, but I've never sacrificed a deal. Like how I get paid is obviously paramount, and some trips I don't go on because I've got deals going on. But had a little, and once with the transaction process, once you're through inspection, there is a 15, 20-day gap where you don't have to do much. So then you can go on the golf trips. So Stream Song is calling my name soon.
Ooh.
Do you drive down there?
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah,
You
he's
been?
taking the chopper.
I was about. No, I don't know. He knows Robert Baker, so
Yeah.
you never know.
we were supposed to be on that to the Grove.
We got
Matt and I
booted
had
up.
to- we had
We're
to
on the
dri- we had to
bottom of the
drive.
list.
Got booted
Yeah.
from golf trip.
No, the trip was on. We just had to drive.
Got booted from the plane.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not that bad of a drive.
No, it was easy.
Where were
3.5
you
to-
say your Stream Song? That place, have you been there, Josh?
Yeah, once. Yeah,
Was it?
I heard
Was
it's
it like nice out when you went?
unreal.
Yeah.
I heard
was
in
hot.
the summer it's brutal.
yeah, it was pretty hot. I think we were middle of June, but I mean it was fun. It was before they had opened the black. We just played red and blue.
Yeah, I heard they're the two best.
What's your favorite golf trip you've been on?
Have you done Bandon Dunes?
No, I don't. It's not for me. Like it's too far. I could go to Europe and get somewhere faster than
Yeah.
Bandon.
I did that this
that's-
summer.
That's a good point.
It's got to be Augusta. I mean, I've been there quite a few times, but nothing beats that for me. And especially like I get to bring 2 friends every time. So I like to bring,
Who are you
I like to
bringing?
bring
Who are you
guys.
bringing?
So 2 guys that live here, Drew Westfall, and it's his brother's name, Damon. But I'd like to bring guys that would appreciate it.
Yeah.
You just bucket listed them. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and they actually, the guys that I'm bringing they try and play all the Golf Digest top 100 courses. Like that's their goal in their life.
I got it.
So-
That's another good thing we could talk about. The top 100. Who the hell gets to pick what
Morons.
the top 100 are?
Well, it's subjective, but there's 2 lists, so I'm not trying to tick them off, but I'm trying to
Oh,
play them. But there's
Same.
Golf Magazine and Golf Digest, and I don't have a list.
Golf.com, yeah, does one as well.
So, like Shane Bacon gets a pencil and all this. He's trying to do them from 2010 is his list. I'm like, if I've heard of it, I want to go play it. So they're not in there, but we were in DC this week, and Bethesda Country Club and Burning Tree. I'm like, I've heard of them. I want to play them. That's where I'm at.
Burning Tree. Pablo's got a guy there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Do you hammer the pro shop when you're up there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I always have
Like,
requests
over
for-
under $3,000.
It's typically under that,
Yeah.
but the last trip we took in May, between the 3 of us, we spent over 10 grand.
Really?
Yeah, I think I spent 1,500. So the other guys
Yeah.
crushed it.
I wonder what that shop does.
Have you seen the stat
Oh,
of like first
And it's
time?
just open what
It's like the Ending Club.
6
a year and
months
a half
year?
ago. Yeah. Oh no, it's open. It might be open when they're closed. To
Yeah.
tell you the truth, when the course is closed.
You need to get some LFG stuff up in that.
Oh,
Augusta.
my God.
Good luck with
They
that.
they
Talk
need
to the
some
buyer
more
while you're up there.
variety.
Good luck with that.
They make their own clothes
Place
now. Like
just
Yeah,
reeks.
you
don't-
see
well,
Masters.
own their own
Miller.
brand. It's obviously probably like Peter Millar or something. But
My guess would be in a typical week that they probably make 100,000 a day in there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, no problem.
that and
no
Pine,
problem.
Pine Valley, how the Pine.
How do they keep it in stock?
That
Like,
I
that's
mean,
the-
have y'all been in the
Yeah.
pro shop
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
It's
So
all downstairs, right?
yeah, so they literally like, all right, I want this size or this shirt in a large, and they just go in the back and then they come out with it. I'm like, I wanted that one on the rack. They're like, no, we have to get it from back here.
Do they have a member logo?
Yeah.
Like Augusta
Members
or
only.
Pine
Yeah.
Valley
Yeah.
has one where they don't write the script
Yeah,
underneath
exactly.
Same as
And-
Ocean Forest. A lot of them just the logos, the member. But
Yeah,
the
so-
Pine Valley one's incredible. The pro shop is no bigger than this room here.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
It is
Yeah.
small. Yeah,
So is Augusta's, right?
it's
Yeah,
haven't-
it's very
it. I think it's
small.
like 400
Maybe
square feet.
twice the size of this, maybe.
Yeah.
But they have a new one that they built. It's probably twice the size
Pine
as the
Valley
old
or-
one. Augusta,
Oh yeah.
Um,
How new is it?
maybe a year and a half.
Yeah. See, the old one
Yeah.
was like smaller than this.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been so cool going there because now when I go there, it's like I know everyone in there.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, Mr. Scobee, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey guys."
Hey,
It's Josh.
Yeah.
hey, George.
First time I got to play it, man, it was so cool. I went up with Jonas, like a few weeks before the tournament, and it was there was just a steady mist all day. Like, no, you didn't even need rain gear. It was just a mist,
Mhm.
and then, obviously the sun wasn't out, but it was so cool to see that place and like that kind of
Yeah.
scene.
I've been so lucky that it's only rained one round and we've
Really?
had to come in for a little while, but the rest has been gorgeous weather.
Have you played it while the tournament's set up, or just when it's all bare?
Yes, I played it quite a few times a week before
Really?
the Thursday round.
They have tea times on
Yeah.
the Sunday before
Correct.
when the pros are there and
Yeah.
the drive chip and putts on. Members play that
Correct.
day.
Dude, one year I was there, I was playing a practice. It was on Sunday before, and they had just, I think it was the first year of the drive, chip, and putt. And I was down on 14T, which is quite a ways away from the clubhouse.
Yep.
And it was like God came over the speakers, and it was like, well, all the participants from the drive, chip, and putt, please exit the property.
And you probably didn't see any
Get out
I was
of
like,
here.
where did that come from? I was
Get
like
out
on
here.
the tee
They
box.
should have one the block, the flub, and the yip, just for like over 25 handicappers.
Yeah, we just played that charity event we were just at.
Yeah.
They had a professional female long driver teeing off on 18, and I necked one by her. It's great.
We paid to take her longest drive ever.
You paid to minus 20 yards off every drive.
She hit one like she said she hit one
It's for the
370 and like in a professional event
On a
out-
runway.
out in the air.
345 in Midland, Texas,
Yeah.
straight downwind.
370 at St. Augustine Runway. I might be on one of the distinctive lists for Augusta for like decent golfers who their wives have played it.
Wait,
and I haven't.
I'm lost.
No
What
way.
just happened?
So
Your wife played there with you?
no, my wife's played there. I've never played there.
Lucy's
played
there?
She played at Augusta State.
Wow.
So
Oh, I didn't know that.
how many like decent golfers who travel around and play events haven't played Augusta but their wives have? That's not a good club. That's a club I want to get out of.
Bad luck.
Fucking eating me up.
I feel like you got enough
Josh,
friends.
you said
too.
you like to take people that would appreciate. I would
Yeah,
appreciate.
how much does that ticket
I would
cost,
appreciate
Josh?
it much
What are those
more,
guys paying
much
you
more
this
than
year?
Matt.
So I have the guys that I take pay
Favors.
for the entire thing.
Yeah.
So it's probably it's gone up apparently with inflation. They're inflating their prices too.
Are you driving up this year? Because next year
The
we
guy
can
I
change
go
that.
with does have a
it's got a PJ.
he loves to fly, but we'll take like a Sprinter van up there. But
Oh, that's even
it's
better.
probably our last trip was like 16 grand for 2 nights, 3 rounds, and 1 on the par 3 course.
Worth it.
That's
Taking
And-
Weedy up there yet?
No,
No.
Has Weedy played it? He might have sneakily played it.
I
Maybe.
don't
In the
think
tournament?
he has.
No, not the tournament, but
No.
like just knowing
I don't-
people.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
he has. But yeah.
All right, it's me and Weedy next year.
But maybe one day
Six
when I'm a
grand.
member, I'll take y'all up.
I'll
there.
start saving.
Hell yeah. Let's put this guy up for membership.
He already is.
I tried
There he
to
is.
go in and fill out an application, but they
No.
It's
don't
the
have any of
application
those.
process. Can you get one online?
Speaking of
you
that
can.
process, up at this, we're at a country club at Fairfax, and the guy I was with Billy, he's a DC guy, and this lady's like, oh, why don't you join? We're talking about Burning Tree. She goes, well, why don't you join Burning Tree? He goes, you don't ask to be a member of Burning Tree. Like, you just get invited.
Yeah.
Same as Augusta. You
Where's
can't,
that?
Burning
DC.
Tree is in
DC.
DC. It's the Congressional, TPC Potomac, which is Old Avenel, Bethesda. They're all within like 8
By
minutes
the way,
drive.
that
and Burning Tree. Burning Tree is all men's club.
TPC
Okay.
Potomac is if what a
It's awesome.
steal. I mean, yeah, it is. That place is sick.
It hurt like 10 handicappers' feelings. The guys we played with yesterday had played there, and they're like, "Oh, we don't like playing. It's too hard." It is fucking
For
hard.
I think it's my favorite TPC course
It's
there
the-
is.
Yeah, it's
Teeing off number 10 there, Josh, it's straight. If you got any issues off the tee, it's straight downhill, and there's this water, these cattail, cattails coming out of the pond, about 10 feet high, left. And then
What about
right
11?
is nothing. There's nothing. And if you're yipping it, and it's down about 30 or 40 yards.
Mhm.
So the ball's in the air forever. It's just like, you just want to like chip a 7-iron down
Did they
the
have
hill.
an event there?
Yeah, it's the event where Kang and Joel Damon were arguing about where a ball crossed on 10.
Kyle Stanley
Oh,
won.
that's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the AT&T, which was Congressional, was Aronimink. They played there. Then it turned into Quicken Loans, announced in Detroit. But that's the event, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Used to be
But-
the Booz Allen.
Yeah, so they used to play there every
Booz
year.
Allen.
Booz Allen. So it was TPC Avenel. They shut it down and rebranded as
My first
TPC
ever
Potomac.
event.
But honestly,
Allen.
if you're up in the DC area, it's a must play. It's very good. It's very hard.
Yeah.
On the list.
Well, I got to ask about Little League Baseball. Did you have, I know
yeah.
you and Maddie your boys are in the same league. You got any Matt Every stories?
No. I've been tame
No.
around Josh.
Yeah.
Nothing on the baseball side, but flag football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We,
yeah, I forget
Were
which
you
one
there
he-
for this? Or
I
did
was
you hear
not
about
there.
it?
I was there for playing against that guy, but
Yeah.
not for the blow up. But his kids was on the team of this coach who was a nightmare. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
would
just a
talk shit
nightmare.
to
This
the
guy had never
players
played
on the other
sports in his
team.
life.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about 10-year-old kids.
telling
and
a 10-year-old kid to suck on it
Yeah.
while he's down on the ground.
like
just
Oh,
flag
loser.
football.
We've
Jeez.
talked about that guy before.
Yeah,
on this
total
podcast.
Just, I mean, he'd been in trouble with the league before, apparently, and fortunately got kicked out after your incident with him. And I mean, this guy, the kids would come back to the sideline and be like, "That coach just yelled something at me."
The
Or
best
like,
is when this incident happened. I just lost it on him. Like I
so I'll let you tell it.
chest bumped him and just
Tough day at the office.
It was
Blowing off some
it was a
steam.
great day at the office. Actually, it felt
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah.
But it had been coming for a while, and I've just been biting my tongue, and finally I just lost it. It was ridiculous how he was running the show. His kid was a total nightmare. I feel bad for his kids, man. I really do. I feel bad for his wife.
Wasn't his kid the quarterback?
Yeah, but like, there's this guy is not good.
Didn't you yell at him like, "Why don't you let someone else play quarterback?"
No, so we kept doing this play where this like double fake handoff reverse play to his kid that takes 10 years to develop, and we're just getting our flag pulled 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage every time, and
Mix it up.
we're up a touchdown, or we're up like one score. They get a safety, and my buddy Nick and I, who have actually played real sports before, we're like, we gotta throw the ball. And he goes, "We're trying to run the clock out, and we don't want to throw interceptions." And I'm like, "Well, maybe you should put in a different quarterback." And that was it.
Hey, that's not
And-
the guy that's
and
calling.
also, this guy, these kids are like 10 years old. He was the only coach in the league that would let the quarterback call their own plays. Well, his kid's quarterback's calling his own number 24/7. It's ridiculous, dude. And so we actually ended up winning the game, and he's like, "Great game, guys, great game." I'm like, "That was a terrible game, coach." And I just went over to him, and anyways,
I love how spicy it can get in youth sports.
Oh
though.
my god!
His first name's not
Baseball's the
Press,
worst,
is it?
though.
no,
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Baseball is by far the worst
Play
when it
caller
comes
for the
to
Jags.
No.
parents.
Baseball dad.
the worst. The
Moms.
politics in youth sports is disgusting.
Doesn't-
It's worse than DC.
I will say,
worse
coming
than
from
DC.
Australia, obviously rugby's different. It's more flowing game, but the parents get way into
Lunatics.
these sports over here. Like,
Go way too into it. I
Yeah.
mean, they act like they know every rule and every little
T-ball.
thing.
My kids' T-ball travel team, the parents were just...
T-ball travel team.
Well, you listen to what you just said. That's on yourself, bro.
You're playing T-ball.
T-ball travel, right?
Well,
Listen
the
to what
kids
you just
said, well,
said.
we one season, we didn't go back. But
T-ball travel team.
But I had to inject. I try not to, but I injected
You're
these
that Aaron,
parents.
you're that parent right now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
The
you
parents
are.
were going at each other, and I said, guys, can we stop? Look at these kids. They're having a ball. How are you guys caring more than the kids playing? They're having a great time. They don't give a holy flying shit what the score is.
Yeah.
They're giggling. They're having the best time ever. They were 5 years old. We didn't know. I don't come from baseball. I don't come from this
Yeah.
country.
So you're behind the fence, seeing all this going on between parents.
I
It's
was
so
like,
different
just
once you're on the dirt,
relax.
though, and you can
Look,
hear all the kids. And
But
the
if the guy
coaches.
misses something at third, you can say something, but that's it. Like, hey, he was on, and then you don't
then let it
can't.
go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those dads that, I mean, I played baseball from birth through high school,
Yeah.
soccer, same thing. So whenever I see something that's egregious, I'll let the ump know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Blue.
I mean, I follow these accounts on Instagram that are like umpire hate.
Oh,
So
I
it's
follow
already
those
like
too.
boiling in me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I see this stuff, and I know it's completely obvious. I get so mad, but then I'll just go take a walk and be like, I shouldn't have done
They
that.
can't be
That was
doing
a
You don't
bad
coach.
idea.
You don't coach your. You're not a coaching, right?
I have told the coaches, no, I will not help because I
Right.
just don't want to. But I got duped into it
This
now.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm helping out with both teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
First
Yeah.
base.
Yes,
First base coach.
that's exactly what I'm doing. Thank you. But I try to be as flaky as possible, so maybe they'll just ask someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do a really shitty job, you're
Correct.
gonna get fired.
I'm gonna
so.
start sending players for no reason. Oh, so I don't know what I'm doing.
It's fun when you have a group of kids. Mine's a 12U, kind of at the end of the little league run. But now you've got kids that know what to do with the baseball when they get it. They don't hold it in the outfield
Yep.
anymore. Kids take their signs from third base coach and actually run when they're supposed to. So
My kids are doing that.
It's been the most
9 years.
enjoyable
Crazy.
little fall season I've ever had. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But I don't know about you, Pricey, because travel ball and starting
Yeah.
out, you know,
A lot of balls and strikes in T-ball.
you'll get really
umpires
hardened.
are terrible.
No, but it's the parent. There are like there was crossing home plate out or whatever, and they were just erupted, and I was like,
How many uniforms
This is
did your little
yeah, they had three.
travel team? Three? Oh my god!
It was pretty wild. But
Oh, my
now
God.
my
This is-
9-year-old is doing it. He's only played baseball for 1 year, so he's caught up pretty quick, and he's doing it because it's more baseball. Now I'm not going to do this the rest of my life, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they T-ball, obviously it's pretty easy to hit off a tee. Then they go to sling, they can't hit the sling. They get amazing at the sling because they're all strikes. Like Wheatcroft's kid is
He's really good.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
and then they get to 9
He's
ye's.
juicing for sure.
He's a big
he's
boy.
a beast.
Dang.
He's so
Looks like he was on the tip for like 3 years.
so that Chase Wheatcroft thing. There's no way they'll lose a game this year.
Really?
There you go. At 9U. So
Bring
first
those-
year
bring
of
those-
proper baseball. They're
Josh,
ridiculous.
we got to bring those softies from Nocatee over to Jack's Beach.
That would be
They'll,
nice.
they'll lose some
He
games.
knows. He knows how good Chase
I've
Wheatcroft's
seen
team is.
I've seen his action.
The whole team. They're all good.
Oh, he can hit it over the
Yeah,
fence,
he's-
and
he's mean.
not a single kid on our team can hit it over the fence.
Really?
When I was their age, I could bomb it over the fence.
We got a kid on our team that can with one of those U trips. Some of these bats, dude.
Yeah,
are
Those
yeah.
U trips are
joke.
ridiculous. They sound like 3x.
Sounds like you could bunt one out of the park.
Yeah, our kids just can't hit it very far, and we don't play teams that can hit it over the fence, and it's
Their
200
knowledge.
feet.
They're 9U, so first year of kid pitch. Their knowledge is insane.
A lot.
And that's
Some of the
part-
kids. Then you play rec ball, and
Oh no,
He's
Rex-
popping it over
Rex-
200 at under 10 years old.
Rex
oh no,
stuff.
I'm saying we don't have kids that can.
But Wheaty's kid,
Oh yeah,
how old is he?
he's
He's
9.
9, just turned 9.
Good God!
Yep. He
Does he have a
hit it.
man body?
He's just a big.
He's a big,
kid.
solid boy.
That's
Yep.
That's
You ever
wow.
seen
You don't want to
Wheatie?
peak too early, but
Wheaty's got a strong lower half, says Chase.
I mean, a lot of these kids that you thought were studs younger, that they've kind of stopped caring about baseball and petered out. And I'm like, you're going to be a great golfer one day. You have what it takes to.
I can't wait for. First of all, we're all idiots for judging any of this right now. None of our kids have hit puberty.
Right.
That's a good point.
I mean, I can't wait for that to happen. Then we'll sort all this out.
Yeah, they got to face, this is saying show, wine, women, and song. The test of 3.
I don't know what that means.
what's
So wine is booze,
Yeah.
women is girls, and then song is like partying. So you got to get through.
Yeah.
Is that
starts to
an
happen.
Aussie thing?
Yeah.
Huh. I've never heard that.
Oh, Americans don't drink or party or chase women.
We're all perfect here.
No,
Not in the South.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
right.
Chivalry,
it's not dead.
not around you.
No.
Well,
All right.
bud. Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Josh.
Yeah, that was
That
fun.
was a lot of fun,
Thanks for
man.
coming
Yeah,
in,
thank you
dude.
very much.
Do it more often.
Yeah.
You come in whenever you want.
I have
Whenever
free
you
time.
want.
Open invite.
I have
The
free
door is
time.
always open. I'm serious.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right,
All right,
cheers.
guys.